Hello, everyone, and welcome to our team call tonight. It is Sunday, January 21st. We're almost done with the first month of the new year. That's kind of crazy. And tonight we are going to be talking about the power of Instagram stories. I think it's something that a lot of us use, a lot of us talk about all the time, but I wanted to talk about tonight things that I've been doing. And also, if you have anything that you're doing that's a little bit different, please feel free to share in the chat box so we can kind of collaborate and all put our brains together, because we're all creative in our own ways, which I think is something that's really special about Instagram stories. You really just get to be yourself. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And I hope that this works. I made this in Canva. Can you guys see it in the whole screen, or is it fine?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay, because I'm gonna go back and forth, or I'm gonna show you kind of like Linktree and stuff. So let me just close these out. Okay, so Instagram stories is something that I became passionate about probably 7 or 8 months ago. I was really on Snapchat, and I'll go into a little bit more about that and why I'm now fully on Instagram stories. But I've felt like it has been something that has really allowed me to connect with the people that have been following me for a while or just recently start following me on a deeper level. I feel like pictures are great. I do feel like words tell stories, but I also think there's something super special and important with getting in front of the screen. So I'm going to go over 3 things today. And so the key elements of today are the basics of Instagram stories, tips on Instagram stories, and the power of vulnerability and call to action. So how being vulnerable in our Instagram stories really help with making our call to action flow, if you will. Because again, we want to make sure that we are respecting people and not being pushy, but what we're doing isn't being pushy. They're watching your story for a reason. They click on that circle to watch your story for a reason. And if they don't want to, they can swipe away. But again, if they're responding to a poll, or they actively are messaging you and commenting back on things that you're talking about on your Instagram story, those are people you would want to reach out to. Like Gabby, we were talking about when it comes to inviting. So, really take note of the people that are interacting with you on your stories. So what are Instagram stories? I literally just Googled what are Instagram stories and got this quote from there. So it said, IG stories is a feature that, so I simplified it, IG, that lets users post photos and videos that vanish after 24 hours. Content shared to stories also won't appear on your profile grid or on the main Instagram feed. So your things disappear after 24 hours, which is great, but there's also a new feature if you go onto your Instagram account and you make sure that it's updated. So make sure that you're actively updating your Instagram account. You're able to put stories for longer on your profile. So it'll say there, it'll have a new circle with the plus sign, and then you can add different things. So say you want your meal prep to stay up longer, or you're answering a question you get often and you want to highlight that for longer than 24 hours. It's a great way to leave things on here. So when 80-Day Obsession was coming out, I had an 80-Day Obsession circle, talking more about my new program, adding some of the new workouts that I was, trying out. So really just, again, our Instagram is our storefront for our business. So whatever you want that to look like is really what you want in your Instagram stories. And be yourself. Don't be afraid to be quirky or silly. You'll attract the people that are supposed to be in your life by doing that. And you want to just be yourself, because it's so much easier to be yourself than it isn't, right? Okay, so number 1, the basics. Really everything you need to know. So open up your Instagram if you want to follow along so that you can kind of get familiar. So there is swipe left to your camera. So say you're on your home screen right here. I'm on my home screen. I don't know if you can see this. And you just, oh wait, sorry. You'd have to be on like the viewer page. And you swipe to the left. You can open up your camera super quick. So there's just little features that you can do so you don't have to, hit the camera button up top. I don't know. I use a pop socket, so it's just really convenient for me. Another thing is when you're in that feature, if you swipe down, it pulls up your last photos. So instead of having to click on the box down at the bottom, you can just swipe down and it pops things up. The recording settings, there's a different options down below. So there's the live, normal, boomerang, super zoom. And I've gotten a lot of questions about how I do like the beats or like the different types of zooms. So on the super zoom, you'll notice there's a music note. If you tap that music note, it switches from beats, TV show, bounce, and dramatic. It'll tell you which one it's on at the very top. So when you're clicking the music note, it'll tell you up here which one it's going to be. And I was kind of confused by that for a little bit, so I just wanted to share that. And then the rewind, I honestly don't use often. I used it the other day, like when I was drinking my Energize, but I actually don't use the rewind often. Hands-free is probably the main one that I use often. And I do use stop motion. So stop motion, I want to say, is like a flip book style. So you tap multiple pictures. So say like I'm going to take a picture of my Energize right now. It's a very quick thing. So it really is like a fast flip book. If you really want it to be there for a good like 2 seconds, you probably want to take at least 5 or 6 pictures. So, you want to take I think there's like a 20 picture cap out. I've capped out the pictures before. I can't remember. But when you take your pictures, you press done at the very top and it puts them all together. You can also do filters with these as well. So on stop motion or anything like that. Another thing for hands-free, when you hold down on the button for 3 seconds, or when you hold it down, it'll start to count down 3, 2, 1, and that way you can prop your phone up and like not have it be like you starting the button to press, and then like walk away. So I would play around with that. So my top ones that I use are obviously boomerang, hands-free, and stop motion. I use super zoom sometimes. I take obviously normal pictures occasionally, but I will say I tend to take pictures from my phone on my regular camera, and then I will put them in my Instagram stories because I do feel like the quality is a little bit better on my phone. The only thing is the readjustment that it does from your phone to your Instagram is a little bit different. So if you're taking a picture on your phone to put on your Instagram, make sure you're zoomed out a little bit farther because Instagram tends to zoom in a little bit more on your pictures when they come from your camera roll. And then, of course, there's the flash. There's also like a nighttime view. So say you're like in your room, but you don't want a flash on. It can like make your view brighter. So there's a lot of different things you can really do for your recording settings. The swipe down, the impressions. So I'll share a little bit more about that down here. So impressions is something that you're going to want to have when you have your business account. So you'll see on your profile, if you go to the little person down at the very right, and then it brings up to your home page, the lines up at the top help you view your impressions. So you can see like mine, 83% women, 17% men. Like awesome. My goal is to help women, so I would hope more women would be on my page. And then you can see like what the age range is, where people live, what time people most engage in my posts. I will say on Instagram stories, you used to be able to see the impressions on your stories, but for some reason mine have disappeared. I don't know if that's the case for anyone else's, but my lines are not in my stories anymore. I don't know why. But you can still see your impressions for your stories right here. So I didn't like open mine, but so I guess I just have to go here to see my impressions now. And then you can also see it for your posts. So you can see like which posts and impressions mean the people that have viewed it the most. So this is like people going back to your posts, if that makes sense. So your Instagram stories could have more impressions than views. Views are different. Views are the accounts that view your post. But again, the impressions are like, say like an account goes back to your picture like 10 times because they want to reread what you wrote or something. Like that's an impression. So that's how you can kind of tell which people are more interested in. And that also includes like impressions for like people sharing your post. So say someone shares your story, because you know you can share stories to people. So it really just kind of helps you judge what your following is wanting. Which is, you know, important to know how to actively serve your following and add value to their lives, because, you know, they're coming to your page for value and support. Polls are a great feature to use. I know I've talked about this before, but it really helps introverts, helps you start conversations with people. So anyone that is liking your polls, even if it's a poll on something completely non-related to health and fitness, it's a great way to start a conversation. It also like helps you know what people want more of. So you can ask, you know, do you want to see more of this and this? I will say Snapchat versus Instagram stories. Snapchat has better filters. You know, that's just what happens. And I don't use Snapchat anymore though, because I found that Instagram helps more with business. And if people want to see my life, they will come to Instagram stories. Now, the only thing I will say is Instagram stories sometimes lag when it comes to viewing. I have been with Andrew and he'll like watch my Instagram stories, and every time it lags on his phone. I don't know why. So I think sometimes people will skip over that too because of it. I don't think it's like a super deterrent, obviously, but I know Snapchat is better at that. So honestly, like I still dabble with like Snapchat. I'll go back and forth like, oh, funny, like me and Bentley will get on or something, but it's not like I was doing before, which is now mainly on Instagram stories. Now, if you want ideas, feel free to follow me. My Instagram is Emma_Chesmore. And I mean, for me personally, I loved the Jatana Jackson phone national wake up call. If you haven't watched or listened to it, I highly suggest listening to it. She's really how I switched the game with my Instagram stories, and I started like looking at what she was doing and obviously made it my own. But I'll show you kind of like her call to action is really for like business sense is how I started when my self-love challenge started. So I recommend Instagram stories versus Snapchat just for business reasons, because you can't really find people on Snapchat. Instagram, you can find a lot more people. You can message more people. I just feel like Instagram's going to be more sustainable in the long run. I don't think Snapchat's don't quote me on this, but is going to be around forever, you know, like Vine, all those things. Like, I just personally think that Instagram is so sustainable that it's where we want to be spending our focus, and it's best worth our time. And for me personally, I'm a mom of 2, and I just didn't have time to go back and forth between Snapchat and Instagram. For a while, I was doing both, and I was like, okay, like, I just can't do both. You know, maybe I can save. And I know, like, Chalene Johnson still does both. Chalene Johnson still does Snapchat and still does Instagram. So do what works for you. But I'm just saying, for me, I personally have just been focused mainly on Instagram stories. Messages. So messaging people that are watching your stories, you can view who watches your stories. View other people's stories. Message other people. If someone's on your dream team list and you're not watching their stories and you're not interacting with them, why? So, you know, really like, and you don't even have to message them about anything in particular, but build that relationship. You know, that's what it's about. This business is about relationship building. And it's like the most fun part about it. Like our job is to meet new people on Instagram stories. Like how freaking cool, right? And better our lives and just meet awesome people. So again, the business page versus non-business page, I recommend everyone having a business page. That way you can see your impressions, you can see and really be able to tell more about what's going on in your Instagram. There's also more features. There's like the message and I don't know I would just switch it to Instagram. So there's a promote, and then you can like put your email. You can even put like call text down at the bottom if you want. So really just making it accessible to what you want for your peeps. Okay, so tips. So really think outside the box. Like this is your life. So be a storyteller. I'm listening to a book right now that is so good, and it's probably, I mean, he warns you that it's going to ruin movies for you because you're just going to know how people tell stories. But it's called, hold on. I should know that. It's called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. And Lauren actually recommended this in Team Fit Revolution. And I have been wanting to work on like storytelling more and stuff. So I just felt like it was a really good way to read. And it's been great. I've been learning a lot. I've been learning about how to pinpoint certain things when it comes to, my following. So really make sure you know who you're talking to. Don't talk to everyone. Like talk to who you want to talk to who you want to work with. So really be a storyteller. I remember I was actually at dinner last night with another local coach. She's not on our team, but she's awesome, Carly Lindor, and her boyfriend. And she was talking about Short Girl Fitness, who is her upline sister, and her upline is actually will be her sister-in-law. And her boyfriend got her a little Dalmatian for Christmas. But I remember watching her Instagram story, and she was like, so we're going to the airport now. I have no idea what my gift is. Like, well, I remember watching her story, just being like, oh my gosh, I wonder what she's getting. Like, be a storyteller. Take your followers like on an adventure with you when things are happening. People like love watching movies. Like, why do you think people sit and watch Netflix all the time? People love watching stories as well. And that's why they're called Instagram stories, because it's a story of your life. Okay. Linktree, another great thing to add at the very bottom of your Instagram. So I have everything in here. I can get rid of this stuff, but you can turn them off. So, I have my February self-love now because February is coming up crazy. I'm opening up tomorrow for enrollment because we have the free group starting for the coaching tomorrow, which, by the way, the group has been made, but nothing has been posted in it yet. So I will add you ladies I'll post on the team page when Lauren and Alexa have added more. They shared the document with me, but I wasn't able to get on Zoom. Never mind. I digress. But anyways, I just want to let you know, like, it's still happening. Like, we haven't forgotten about it. So February self-love accountability group. I personally have like the Fabletics and also 5-minute journal and productivity planner link. I also have a free gentle sleep training group, but I actually turned this off, which you can see right here you can do, because there's so many people that just request access to it just from Facebook that it's kind of like been overwhelming. So I turned it off. And then join my tribe for coaching, and then also following me on Facebook. So it's a great way to really have everything right here, because before you could only put one link, and that way there's everything that they need. So let's see, share more than just health and fitness. Like I said, talk about stories, talk about things in your life that are happening. Really get vulnerable, add value, go live once a week. Tell them when you're going to be going live. My thing is I'm going live once every Thursday. just whether it's sharing a story or like I did a haul or something and I'm going to just share what I got, or whether it's a tip or something I want to add value. So, share a story, and also just like how you grew from it. Make sure you're focused on the upswing. So I know sometimes we can be focused on, things that happened in our life that maybe didn't go so well, but maybe like just sharing, how you grew from it and the upswing of everything. Be a light. I get messages from people that are like, I just look forward to your videos because you're just happy and inspiring. And someone commented on my voice the other day, like if they liked my voice or something. It was like the first time. But it's really cool. You hear things that you don't necessarily, like you wouldn't necessarily hear. Like, I'll be honest, when I first started coaching and I was on video a lot more, I hated listening to my voice. I hated it. And the fact that, now someone commented on how they like it is kind of just a full circle, like, wow, it's something that I used to be super self-conscious of, but I kept going and I kept being self-conscious, and then I got over it, and then my fear was gone, and it's still something I have to apply today to the things that I'm fearful of. Everything that I've been afraid to do has been something that has benefited my life in a positive way. Make sure that you're in good lighting. I mean, it doesn't matter all the time. Of course, you're going to be like in, the dark room or what. It's not as important as like your pictures. But you still want to make sure that people can see you. And I will say too, facing your camera out, so people, like when you're walking, so people see like where you're going. I do feel like, for me personally, like I like to think of what I like to watch. And for me personally, when I have people that I'm interested in and they're telling a story, but their phone is outwards, like looking out at what they're doing, I actually am engaged more because I want to see what the rest of the room looks like. Or, like I want to see what else is going on in there instead of like that person's face. So, I will say I've started doing that a little bit more just because one of my friends actually like does it, and I just kind of caught on to it. I was like, I kind of like it. Be you, authentic, share what you like to do. Again, polls for fun and for business. And again, think outside the box. You can write on your polls. You don't have to have it just say yes or no. You can like put emojis in the polls. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's in the stickers. So if you go into the stickers, you can add your location, which is another great feature, adding your location so that it pops up in your location story. So if you're really looking to connect with other women around your area, it's a really great feature. And then with the polls, asking on either your workout videos, which I encourage you to do, get outside your comfort zone, share what you're doing for your morning routine, and really use it as an accountability tool for yourself. Like, I really use my Instagram as an accountability for myself. Of course, I do way more than all my Instagram stories. Like, let's be real. My whole life is not on my Instagram stories. That would be like humanly impossible. But again, I do try and take pictures outside and like reload. You can always load pictures on your Instagram stories when it didn't happen in that moment. People won't know, right? Or you can say, this is what happened today. Like, I disconnected, but I wanted to share with you guys. So people still know, like, oh, you're human. Like, you're not always on Instagram stories, but you're still going to share your life with us, So really just making it, again, for you. Engaging with your following. Yes.
Emma, can you add to that? Sorry.
No.
I want to add that use the save button in your Instagram stories when you're doing your workouts, because before I was lagging on my workouts and it was taking me over 30 minutes because I was posting on there and writing on there, like whatever. And then I was like, I'm wasting so much time. Save them and then upload them while you're drinking your Shakeology after your workout or eating your post-workout meal. I just wanted to add that because before I was wasting a lot of time. And once you get a hang of it, it'll go by so fast. I do it in like 5 seconds. So.
Thank you. No, I agree. I was up actually at Lauren's house and I was saving him and she's like, oh, you saved them? That's such a smart idea. And I was like, yes, the only way to do it, because I want to still focus on my workout. Like if I'm posting it right away, I'm not doing what I'm telling other people to do. And that's not how I'm going to live, you know? So really, and that's okay. Again, people don't actually know that I do that. I mean, you guys know, but I do it so quickly after my workout that like, I don't think people really get it. Cause you know, the workout, and then the workouts are consistently back to back, and people actually watch them more because they're sitting there and they have that time. So pay attention to your viewers. So I want you guys to take note of your viewers, and I want you guys to start writing down consistent viewers and reaching out to them. And literally all you have to do when you reach out to these people is, hey, I've just been seeing you've been viewing some of my stuff, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of my life, or however you want to say it. And really just ask, like, have you ever thought about joining one of my challenge groups? Or like, have you ever been interested? And I always give a way out. So I always say, if not, totally fine. But I've just seen your name pop up a lot. And I just wanted to say like, hi, and notice, you know, just kind of like let them know that you noticed them. And you don't even have to say anything about that at the first. You could just say, hey, like, I've seen your name pop up a lot in my, you know, on my account, and I just wanted to say hi and thank you so much for the love and support. You can literally leave it at that. And then you know what, they might, a lot of the times actually when I've done that, they message back and they say, you're so welcome. Like, thank you so much for what you do. I've actually been wanting to reach out to you. I've just been really afraid. And again, that's why I think polls have been a huge game changer, because it's allowed those people that have been timid and afraid to reach out in a really subtle way. And when I've reached out to those people from my polls, they've been like, oh my gosh, I wasn't actually expecting to get a message back from you. Like, thank you so much. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know, because I don't actually think it's very normal for people that have followings or like, you know, are people like us that are on social media helping other people. I don't think they always are engaging. So make sure you message everyone back. Even if it takes you a little bit of time, it's okay. Just message people back. Even if it's like a heart, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be much. But, you know, the engaging, and plus Instagram notices that. Like Instagram, if you want to get talk algorithms here, Instagram notices when you're using your stories, when you're using all the features that they provide, they put those accounts at the top. So, you know, Instagram stories can go beyond just this. This is just honestly to help you guys with these things. But really, I really encourage you to use all the features and everything that it has to offer, because honestly, you guys, social media is taking over. Like, I know people don't like to talk about it, but I'm just saying, like, Bill Gates says that if he was in our generation, he'd be in network marketing. He would be on social media doing what we're doing. Okay. And like, that's someone who started Microsoft or, you know, was. So don't forget, no one else sees the world the way you do. So no one else can tell the stories that you have to tell. Okay. Like, you are you, no one else is you. Be yourself. And the reason why we're a team is because all of our stories are going to impact someone in a certain way. It's going to be a little bit different, but we're all here to help people just live a better life, right? And so that's why we're working as a team and sharing our stories. The power of vulnerability. She has no idea that I use this, but I literally was obsessed with her call to action post the other day. And
You're so sneaky.
I know. I honestly wanted to copy it and just like post this on my Instagram stories.
I recommend copying. Like, that's why we're all doing this together. Like, I am not going to ever be offended if someone copies what I did. I'm not going to lie. I copy some stuff that Shelby does a lot because I'm like, damn, that girl is working it. Yeah. So don't be afraid to copy other people. It's okay. We're all doing it together.
And I think we all do, but that's why I took this picture, because I was literally like, okay, so cute. So anyway, so again, the power of vulnerability, I actually just made this quote up as I was making this. The more vulnerable you are with others, the more vulnerable others will be with you. I truly believe this. And this is really just what I found over the last 4.5 years of being a coach. People get vulnerable with me because I've shared a vulnerable post and it's opened up that door and made them feel like they can relate in some way. So really pinpointing that emotional spot to connect with those people. But again, also having that upswing of the inviting sense that, you have that trusting feeling for them as well, because that's why people will reach out to you, and it'll take them time. Again, we talk about this all the time. I've been a coach for 4.5 years, and it's not like people just, message me all the time on Instagram stories. They do, but it takes some time. Like, people be like, I've, watched your story for the last, 8 months, because it's really when I've been active. So then Gabby did this call to action post for our free internship starting tomorrow. And these were actually all like individual posts. So I'll help you. I'll just describe it. So she made the first one with her picture of herself with just the very front line when it says, ever thought about being a coach? You save it, and then you re-upload, and then you rewrite the next things that you want it to say. So you do that as many times, with the picture, and then you're done. And then the same thing with this next one. So she did free internship includes, posted it, then she saved it, redid it, and she did a new picture for each one of these when it had the what it included. Okay, and then went from there. So, and then I believe you did like the 1 through 10 as well, maybe like another slide.
Yeah. No, I did.
Yeah. So she included the click the link in her bio, and she also did where you can put, which I got from Hannah Jackson and it has been a game changer for me, is when you put how many spots are available, and then you fill that out and you upload at least every 2 days or 3 days who is a part of the group. So really doing call to action posts, I do one at least once a week, because you're always going to be actively running groups. And I personally open up for my self-love challenge, for our self-love challenge, I usually open up 2 weeks prior. So because of the 80-day obsession, I waited until tomorrow, because we're also doing like the free group. So that gives people about a week and a half to get into our next self-love challenge. And, I'm always adding like people to the group, whether it's for the free trial or whatnot. But yeah, so call to action, they can look however you want. Do you want to say something? Add something?
Yeah, I just want to add that with posting this, I got 0 responses. I just want you guys to know, because I want you to know that will happen, okay? You have to go for no. You have to post it, but you have to be consistent. If you didn't get anything, fine. That's okay. Someone is still watching it, and then they're going to go back to it. And if they know that if I post this and then don't post anything for the next month, they're going to be like, she's not really into it. You know what I mean? But when I did a poll, so I did this, maybe last week? Yeah, like a week ago. And I did a poll today, and I just started a vlog, and I said, what would you guys like my first video to be on my YouTube channel? And I said, about coaching or about my next challenge group. And I got 5 people, like all of them said about coaching. 0 said about my challenge group. So be consistent and use polls, do stuff like this, and always don't be afraid of the word no, because you can't fear the word no, because I waited 4 years to join with Emma. So you have to keep that in mind. How long did it take you? And just keep being consistent. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, no, totally. Thank you for sharing that. And if you haven't read Go For No, I highly suggest reading it, listening to it. Super short read, but super great book. And really changed the game for me when it comes to no. And I'll say, when I posted my internship about it, I got 3 people. And 2 of them were from reaching out. One of them was just from an Instagram story. One of them is in our current challenge group. And the other one is because I reached out to her because she was a coach on our team a while ago. And has been wanting to rejoin. She's now part of our challenge group again and has been consistently posting. So I just reached out to her and told her about it, because she was a coach maybe 3 years ago. And I was like, things have changed. I'd love for you to just be a part of this free group, just so you can kind of see what our team is about now, and because I really do feel like there was like a shift. And she wanted to be a part of it, so don't think again that because, we're consistently posting these things and everything that we're getting 10 people jumping out at us. It's not the case, but we're consistently posting these things, because even if you get one person, that's amazing. And Gabby and I were talking about inviting before. She brought it up. And, I think that, you'd be surprised how many people like want to know more if you were just to reach out. I think for me, I'm always afraid also, but every time I do it, I've honestly never really gotten anyone that says like no, or, and if they do, then that's fine, you know, or I've been like, okay, do you know anyone that wants to get healthy, like, or wants to be healthy? Like, they have to know someone. And especially if they know you, they're going to want to know more. Yes.
I just was watching a YouTube video, and one of these top coaches says the people you think will join won't, and the people that you think won't will. So don't be afraid to go out of your comfort zone and reach out to the people that you are thinking like, oh, they're never going to join. Reach out to them. You might be shocked, because I have a girl that just joined, and we used to hate each other in high school, and now she's like all about it and she wants to join. So remember that, and just get outside your comfort zone.
Yes. Yeah. It's so true. There's actually a girl in our challenge group who I thought would never, and she did. And it's so cool to see that and see the transformation. And I almost feel like that makes it 10 times like more special, because you're like, wow, like someone I didn't actually think would ever like, and we went to school together too. We didn't really like hang out that much, but like we kind of knew each other. It's just so cool. I just love our job. I love everything about this. And we're always here to help. So like if you have any questions, or like, you know, you're doing things on Instagram stories and maybe things are like, give it time. Don't just like do this for a month and then be like, didn't work. Like I didn't get anyone, like no one reached out to me. No one's connected with me. People, again, consistency. Like they have to see you consistently doing it. You know, I wasn't consistent with my morning routine after I had Ashton, and I started to get really consistent back in September. And I saw a huge shift in my business, in the people that were engaging with me, in the amount of questions that I was getting, because people were seeing me get up at 5:30 a.m. when I have 2 little ones, and, you know, going on with my day and being a mom and you know, working and everything. And they're like, how are you doing all of this? You know, like I don't even have kids, and, you know, I don't really have much like holding on to me, and I still can't do this. So, you know, I think, of course, not like shaming people, but just letting people know that like they can do it if they just make a choice, and just being that advocate. You know, like the Women's March was yesterday, and it's like, it's so great that we can stand up for ourselves, but it's like, why don't we march every day and stand up for something every day? Like it's that day, you know, like why does it have to be a certain day to post on social media and to stand up for what we believe in and to take care of ourselves? You know, it shouldn't just be this proclaimed day, in my opinion. And I just wish we all took more action on the things that we were passionate about. And I think we are. I think that there is this huge movement of women really taking ownership and action for what we believe in. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. And honestly, this is like the wrong author or the wrong person, because first, I don't think it's saved right, because it shouldn't be yellow. But tell the stories of the mountains you have climbed. Your words could become a page in someone else's survival guide. And I just want to leave you with this, because I feel like this has been so true for me, at least with sharing a lot of my vulnerability with like my divorce and my past and like emotionally abusive relationship and stuff. I just really feel like I've helped people, and I've helped add little nuggets and add little valuable nuggets to people's survival guide, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's like we all are thriving by stories. Like we all love stories. Whether it comes to a book or a movie or reality TV or whatever, you know, like life is about this story. And I do feel like our words really help a lot of people, even if you don't think like it's helping. There are moments where I'm like, I don't even know if sharing this is going to be like beneficial, you know, because sometimes I'm like, am I talking too much about like the things I'm going through? You know, because I don't ever want to feel like people think I'm being, you know, conceited or whatever. But like, again, I'm not. So I don't really care. I'm like, whatever. I want to help you. I want to guide you and share what didn't work, what did work. And I think that for me, I like that as well, because I follow people for those reasons. You know, like when I was going through my divorce, I'm not going to lie, I followed women who had lost their husbands and had kids, because they were going through kind of a similar grief that I was going through, although my ex was still living, if that makes sense. And I think it's kind of weird to like be in that situation when like you're not there, but like I followed them because I was like, if they can get through this kind of grief, like I can get through my grief. And if, you know, the things that they were sharing kind of helped me along the way and kind of help my mindset along the way, then something that I'm going to share is also going to help someone's mindset along the way. So I know that was a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but I'm going to stop the share and we can have questions or discussion or anything for a little bit longer. And then I will stop the recording. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chat box. But thanks for being on tonight and for watching the recording. And again, if you guys have any questions or think of anything or just want to share what has helped you or worked with you, please feel free to share. And always in the team page. Like you guys are always welcome to share it in the team page, go live in the team page. That place is for all of us. So with that, I'm going to stop the recording.